We gonna start this thing alright. Groove all in the money logging house. Come on, come on. Do it, baby. Do it, baby.
Hey, TalkTainmentRadio.com, the world's greatest radio. That's radio the way it should be heard. And this is your girl, Quai Morgan Hill, on the Quai Morgan Hill Show. So I have an awesome panel today, girl. I am hyped up. I'm living my best life. I'm looking like Simba though, but I'm looking good, okay? I'm living my best life. Just want to let y'all know. But call me up, 877. Actually, hold on, wait, 877-932-9766. Call me up and chime in on what we're talking about today. Follow me on IG and Facebook at Quai Morgan Hill. And, holla at your girl. So we're going to talk about rape culture right now and domestic violence culture. Are we creating a culture that is normalizing rape and domestic violence? But before we do so, let's just live our best life real quick before Kahari cut it off. Smile. Come on.
So what the you be wildin' for?
Smile. Come on.
If you're breathing, you achieve.
Hey. Living our best life. Oh, I love Lil Duval did his thing. Give him a round of applause. I swear that song just get you in the mood, y'all. So before we get into rape culture and DV culture, shout out to everybody living their best lives. Please raise your hand if you are living your best life. Hey, all right. Okay, so rape culture, a concept in which rape is normalized due to attitudes about gender and sexuality. Behaviors commonly associated with rape culture include victim blaming, slut shaming, denial of widespread rape, refusing to acknowledge the harm caused by some forms of sexual violence. And according to HuffPost, men commit 99% of reported rapes. Okay? That's crazy. And then 73% of the time, a woman knows her rapist. Yeah. Wow. So, has anyone on the panel been a victim of rape? You don't have to raise your hand. Just nod your head. Say no. Okay. I ain't gonna put nobody out like that. But no, seriously, are we creating a culture that is normalizing rape?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Why? Please elaborate.
Where do you start?
Right. I think for me, it was the first of all, I'm an old school rappy. The Queen Latifah, MC Light era. Mm-hmm. So when it was ladies first and we looking out for each other. But anytime you normalize saying I'm slipping some mollies in her drink and I'm going to take advantage of her, that verse with Rick Ross, it threw me. I mean, that in itself, that says a lot. So there's certain things that at this point in the game, I just feel like we're making it acceptable because we're in a new millennial stage, if you will.
Yeah. I would agree with that as a millennial as well. Because it's, I'm a big connoisseur of old school hip hop. Like, I love old school hip hop. And there's definitely a different vibe. There's definitely a different vibe. I'm a 90s baby, but I can see there's such a vast difference in the content that's from even from the early 2000s even to now. And even as a DJ, I'm like, sometimes I don't, when I did different gigs, I'm like, I don't really want to play that because, I grew up in a more conservative home as well. So the outlook on that alone, I was just like, I don't want to play that because it just didn't vibe right with my spirit, and it wasn't something that I advocated for or definitely condoned, especially. And I'm glad you mentioned the Rick Ross lyric because that was a controversial thing. And
it definitely was. What's another song?
Oh goodness.
That just had that out. That was blunt like that. There's so many. I think it's not so much the content; it's more of the videos too. I mean, absolutely. We walk around, we see the girls with the big booties, the thongs, and stuff like that. Like, what is that really saying to our girls? Our youth.
It says you have to look like this in order to be desirable, and it's not creating a good sense of self-love and self-acceptance of who you are. Because I mean, for the majority of those girls, most people know, that she's got surgery, she's got you know, plastics, whatever the situation may be. But like, it's creating an unrealistic view for young women. I think in my age, because of social media and the overpowerment of media, I think young women especially are being bombarded more than ever.
Absolutely.
Instagram, like, you know, it doesn't take much. All you got to do is slide through social media and you're going to see, you know, a picture of unrealistic expectations for young women, and they internalize that.
Right.
It's deprecating to them.
And now girls are risking their lives just to get the silicone injections.
Yes.
Look at K. Michelle. She was the realest one that actually had them removed, and she went public with it.
Absolutely.
K. Michelle, kudos to you, girl, because nowadays women will swear up and down that booty reel, but look like a chicken. Like, what? That is not real. And then you have young girls that want to actually look like that when they get older. But yet, why aren't we satisfied with who we are and our body type?
Because we're putting too much of everyone else's opinion on us. We're not taking our power back and saying, this is who I am, and I am dope at it. This is who I am, and I don't need to have big breasts and a big butt and big lips and all that and extensions just to be bomb. And you know, but I think what's happening because of social media, everybody thinks the social media standard is real life standards, and it's not. It's truly not.
So what would you say the Facebook standard is?
See, here's my thing with Facebook. Facebook and Instagram are two different things. I feel like Facebook is like church compared to. I'm gonna keep it real.
Because your grandma's on there.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it real. Like, some of the people you may see or women you may see half naked on Instagram, they all bundled up on Facebook. Right. So I feel like it's two different things. There's two different standards.
Okay. So then let's talk about IG. So Facebook is church. What is IG?
Me personally, and I don't mind sharing my age, I'm 36 years old, and I see women older than me that are more revealing. I think that it's now, the more skin you show, the more likes you get. So that's where you bring in that eternal position internal position that, okay, well, if I show more skin, then they like me. You know what I mean? And I have two girls. I have a 20-year-old and a 9-year-old. And it's one of those things that, for me, I question myself, like, okay, is this acceptable? Because one person who I follow on Instagram, and I absolutely love her, she's Miss Bling Miami. I love the way she says, I'm classy and sexy and covered. Because I know I just had this discussion with my husband the other day. He said, don't nobody want somebody that just showed the world everything.
Really?
Like, or how serious.
Because look at Kanye.
Can I take But you know what? Me personally, can we speak freely on Brother Kanye? I believe that he is in a sunken place. I believe that, and this is just my personal opinion. I'm a fan of Kanye. I love the old Kanye. They want the new Kanye. I mean, I really like Kanye West. I believe that. And at one point in time, before things took a turn for him, he had that pro-brown girl, I want you to stay down to earth kind of attitude and not show everything. And so for him to take a turn like that, it makes me wonder what his ulterior motive was and what frame of mind this brother is in right now. Because he prided on us brown girls being covered up and being a part of the sororities and the college life. So what in his frame of mind, and what are we pushing as society that makes you turn like that? That's that's where my hidden question is.
I mean, we all have a lot of questions. You know, what is going on? Right. So what is going on with society and what we expect? You know, like, this is so crazy. So not only is it in the music that we listen to, but think about the movies. Okay, so 50 Shades of Grey. You know, even though that was a good movie, you still got to be a submissive to a man. Like, he wants to, you know, handcuff you up, use all these different toys, but yet won't really kiss you in the mouth or let you spend the night with him or sleep in your bed. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is this?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm just supposed to allow you to get the nookie and that's it? No feelings involved? But you're actually
no emotional intimacy.
Yeah.
No emotional intimacy. That's what it goes down to.
So is that rape almost?
I think it's settling.
It's settling.
It's definitely settling.
Me and Jamie, it's funny because we were having this conversation in the car. We were talking about how women will just do anything a man says just to not be lonely. Like, and we have to begin to be whole in ourselves and set that standard, because I mean, who just wants to lay up for 5 minutes and go home? It's about to be winter in Columbus, for real.
Right.
Keep it real.
Absolutely.
It's about to be cuffing season.
Right.
We ready to get in a relationship, baby. That's too funny. So also think about back to Aladdin. Okay, so remember when what was his name? Habar attempted to marry. Well, he was about to lock up Jasmine because she wouldn't marry him.
Yeah.
You know, it's just little things like that. Sleeping Beauty, she was unconscious, and he comes in there and kisses her, and she wakes up. Like, so is all this really like going back to rape? Like, is this really rape?
I think it's compromise in
Yeah.
a lot of ways. I think it's compromise, and I think that people, especially they're willing to it goes back to emotional intimacy. People are willing to settle for a little bit of physicality, and they're like, I can't do the emotional intimacy, but I can do the physicality. And then most women, I can only speak to my experience, you know, when I was in a situation where I did that, I guess I felt used. I guess the best way is you feel used, and I don't know if I would qualify it as rape necessarily, but I definitely think it's settling, and I definitely think it's a compromise of your emotional well-being.
Okay, let me ask y'all this: is drunk sex actually rape?
Ooh.
I'm gonna go ahead and speak on this.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Let's hear it.
Oh.
To me, it goes back to having two girls. If you didn't physically say, I want this, it's rape, flat out. And that's the way I believe. Because if it was my baby on the other end, I'm going to go hard for her in the paint. If she says, Mom, I didn't consent to this, we're going to fight it till tooth and nail, unapologetically.
That's real.
Ooh, Tasia, she made a good point. She said people just don't want to feel that lonely feeling.
There you go.
Yeah. That's
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's
Goes
true.
back to them not feeling good about just themselves, being whole in themselves.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think that's
Can
why
I-
we have such like a high. I mean, this is my personal opinion. I feel like we have such a high divorce rate too, because people are like, I gotta have love. I gotta jump into this, and instead of cultivating something that's healthy and emotionally beneficial and mutual for people, they're willing to settle, you know, because they want somebody there.
So are we actually creating this type of culture, though, by accepting things like this?
I think so. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So let me ask you this then. Okay, so everyone knows what's going on with Urban Meyer, right? Okay, so Courtney Smith, she on Buck News, according to Buck News, they said Courtney called 911 66 times in 90 days. She got pulled over 3 times for DUI. Each time they let her off and escorted her home. Each time she began crying and stated that Zach was chasing her and she was afraid. But each time Zach was at practice. 911 actually stopped sending squads because they stopped finding her credible. They came numerous times with 911 verifying that Zach was engaging in Ohio State activities. Powell Police is also testifying on Zach's behalf in the court hearing that's coming up. Okay, so they also said that Courtney has came to OSU practices numerous times drunk, chasing after Zach, threatening to blow him up, and other threats. They also said that she never worked a day in her life. Okay, and because of that, she is trying to sell the story for 6 figures to anyone that's going to pick it up to get money. Okay, so because this blog threw this out there, are we now trying to justify that maybe she was actually in a domestic violence situation, but now we can't find her credible because this is out there? So are we creating a acceptance for rape and domestic violence?
I feel like in some cases, yes. I feel like anytime a victim comes up, we have to go dig in their laundry to find out if they're credible. What type of stuff is that? And as a abuse survivor, I feel like there should be the justice system needs to stick to facts. Needs to stick to just that. Why are you going digging up? What doesn't matter that she don't work? There's at-home mothers.
Yeah.
That haven't worked.
Yeah.
So what does that matter?
Absolutely.
And maybe she was a little tipsy, you know, but hey, that doesn't give him the right to smack her around and strangle her. So there also has been some footage. Well, actually, no, not footage. I take that back. Text messages from TMZ. They said that Zach actually apologized for choking her up in Punta Cana and also at their home. So he apologized. So now we're looking at it like, did he really do it? Like, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? So now this is just too much, and it's a lot to focus on. So we don't know if she's actually telling the truth or not. So ladies, I just want to say, stop always crying wolf, okay? If he didn't have sex with you, don't put nothing on his name. You know what I'm saying? Let that man live. If y'all broke up, he cheated on you, let that man live. At the end of the day, don't cry wolf, okay? Please. Because this is just making all women look bad. Because now if something really actually happens, now we have to actually have proof. And who really has proof while you getting raped?
Right.
Besides, taking a swab. So let's just be real, y'all. But call me up at 877-932-9766. Tell me how you feel about this. Are we creating a culture to normalize rape and domestic violence? I want to know. I really do want to know how y'all feel about that. How do you feel?
It goes, for me, on a personal level, as a millennial, I think it goes back to the content that you were talking about earlier. I think that I can only speak on my age group. If you go to college parties, you go to fraternities, it's a very typical behavior that you hear about where young women will get drugged and they'll get taken advantage of, and I feel like it is normalized, and I think there's several things that play a factor, and I think that it's the culture of what type of music. You talk about Rick Ross, you go up and down the street on OSU campus, you'll hear Rick Ross, you'll hear those artists, because that's what they're playing at the frats, that's what they're playing at college parties and things like that. And you throw in some alcohol, you throw in an underdeveloped brain, because your brain doesn't fully develop until 25, 26 anyway, so you mix that all in there, and that culture and the lack of maybe parental guidance and maybe a lack of understanding of what consent means, which to me, I'm like, that's a common sense thing. Like, why would that even be an issue? And
also, I just feel like because she may want attention, just because she may, dress naked in her birthday suit, you know what I'm saying, provocative, like, just because she's dressing like that doesn't necessarily mean she wants the beefcake. Okay, fellas, just to let y'all know. Okay, she just may want a compliment here and there. She may be feeling low about herself. You never know, okay? It doesn't necessarily always mean that she wants the beefcake. But how much time we got left, Kahari? Anybody know how much time we got left? We got a long time? Because I want to... Okay, good, okay. I'm just checking the time. So, also, Buck News stated that Urban Meyer is looking at a 3 to 4 game suspension, most likely because of the Me Too movement and of the appearance of the university must give. Wow. So I didn't even know the Me Too movement was that damn powerful.
Oh, it is.
It is.
Doesn't play any games.
Absolutely.
Right? Not playing any games. I see that. Okay, ladies. About time we come together about something. But anyways. But seriously, I feel like we need to have proof, ladies. So even when you're getting raped, I know it's going to be hard because you're getting raped. But like, still try to have some type of proof. Maybe photos, a video, something. Because now, like I said, back to Courtney Smith, now we're questioning, is she really credible?
Yeah, I didn't know about that until you brought that up. I didn't know any about that, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, see? Now everybody's second guessing, like, at first we was with you, Courtney. Now this is out. What proof do you got? You got photos from back in 2010, and you got text messages. But nowadays, anything can happen. We can Photoshop all of that.
Right.
So what proof do you really have? So ladies, we need to stop crying wolf. We need to have proof, like real hardcore proof. And we need to speak up when it happens. Why are we waiting years down the road to say something?
Absolutely.
This is crazy. You know, this is supposed to happen back in 2010. It's 8 years later, and it's just now surfacing.
Wow.
I think that's the most troubling thing about the entire Me Too movement that I do find. And I understand as a woman, because I have a friend of mine who was sexually assaulted. It took her years to come to terms with that. And I think it was a sense of shame, because she had felt, a lot of women will internalize that and say, it's my fault, it's the reason that it happened. And so they're scared to come forward. But I think as women, you need to be able to fight that stigma. You need to, rely on other women as a support system to help bring that story forward, because otherwise, men that do this are going to get away with it. They're going to repeat it to someone else. It's going to be someone else's daughter, someone else's sister, someone else's mother. So it's important that women stay united and encourage women to come forward with these stories, And I
also think for me, it's one of those things where we have to get this attitude to be the change you want to see. That's an infamous quote, and I love it because it's one of those things where it starts with you. It starts with you. So until you step up to the plate to see change, be a radical with a cause. We can be a radical for, let's say, just fashion and this and that. And I'm not against fashion. I love beautiful things. But at the end of the day, what are you really representing? What is the change that you want to see? That's the reason you started your show, or that's the reason she started DJing, because we wanted to change the face of what women are doing and what we bring. We are so much more than lipstick and the heels and the purse. We have movements, we have dreams, we have visions. So with that being said, let's not wait till the last minute till my sister is in her dorm room crying because she's saying it was me too. Let's do this to begin with. Let's be proactive. Let's do preventative maintenance, whether it's learning how to use your CCW license, or whether it's a self-defense class, or whether it's when we all four come together to this arrangement, to this party, we're all four leaving together. Oh, girl, you got to go to the bathroom? Okay, I'm going to. You know what I mean? It's the buddy system.
Right. Now, you may be drunk, and I may have to drag you a little bit, but you coming.
Absolutely. I'm not leaving without you.
Exactly. Oh, my gosh. I am so happy to have y'all on. Y'all was awesome today. But before we get off of here, I'm not going to do motivation of the day, because I just want to say a little bit of something before we leave. I just have to get something off my chest. So I just want to say, stop trying to please everyone. Stop looking for titles to place yourself in. Stop trying to fit in when you know you stand out. Be you no matter what anyone says. Fuck society. F society standards. If you want to listen to classic rock while wearing Adidas jumpsuit and Jesus Walk sandals with half dreads and half braids in your head, then do it. Okay? Do it. Forget what people say. Okay? Forget about the labels that they may try to place on you, or what culture they may say that you need to be in. Also, you don't always have to be in control and know everything. Okay? In order to succeed and have peace, you don't have to know everything. Stop pretending that you know stuff you don't know. The only thing that it does is causes stress, it's annoying, and it causes anxiety. We are not supposed to know anything. We're not supposed to know everything. Okay? None of us do. If we did, there would be no need for Jesus. Okay? I just want to say that. The easier it is for us to admit that we know something, the more likely it is for us to learn it, let it go, ask for help, be at peace about it. So sometimes we just don't know. Okay? It's okay to say you don't know. All right? So this is all about having a deep sense of self-acceptance and self-appreciation. So if you don't know something, simply say you don't know. Okay? Don't be ashamed or embarrassed, because the same person making fun of you may not know something you may know. So you don't have to make fun or bash or belittle anyone for not knowing. Simply teach, create, and not destroy. You don't know, but create and not destroy. I love y'all. We'll see y'all in 2 weeks. This is your girl, Quai Morgan Hill. Follow me on Facebook and the IG, Quai Morgan Hill. Mwah!